Now the NBA playoffs are starting and I have been out of my YouTube channel for 1 month and it's mostly because of school. But anyways, let me give my playoff predictions which I give every single year. I just had to make this video. So let's start with the Phoenix Suns vs the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans won't have Zion Williamson in this series. He's out for the rest of the season. He can do as many dunks as he wants, but the Pelicans won't be playing him. And even with Zion Williamson, I still think that the Suns would still win against the Pelicans. The Pelicans have Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum, but they cannot stop the best team in the regular season. So I'm going Phoenix in 5 games. Now the Dallas Mavericks vs the Utah Jazz. This will be a great game and series. Only if Luka Doncic was healthy. He is out for 16 days, which is basically a playoff series. So I got the Utah Jazz in 5 games. It's very heartbreaking that Luka Doncic is injured, but it happens. The next playoff series is the Golden State Warriors vs the Denver Nuggets. This will be a great playoff series, and Nikola Jokic won't be able to be stopped because Nikola Jokic, he'll be guarded by Kevon Looney, and the Warriors don't have an answer for him. He's going to dominate this series, but the Warriors have a big 3, and Nikola Jokic can't do it by himself. Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. are injured. So I got the Warriors in 6 games because they have Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Stephen Curry, who can definitely win against the Denver Nuggets. The next series is the Memphis Grizzlies vs the Minnesota Timberwolves. This will be a really close series. It will be very, very interesting and fun to watch. They have a good trio of Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and D'Angelo Russell. But here's the thing, none of them are really good at defense, and it'll be an interesting series, but I got Memphis in 6 games because the Memphis Grizzlies, they're a fast-paced team just like the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Timberwolves, they won't be able to guard them because their trio aren't the best defenders. Anyways, let's get to the Miami Heat vs the Atlanta Hawks. Can the Atlanta Hawks pull out an upset like last year? This is an interesting series because Trae Young is absolutely out of his mind. Ice Trae had 38 points yesterday against the Cleveland Cavaliers in the play-in game, and the Atlanta Hawks are now in the playoffs. They're a great team, but I think the Miami Heat's defense will be too much for the Atlanta Hawks. Jimmy Butler will guard Trae Young, and he'll force the ball out of his hands. They'll throw many traps on Trae Young, and yes, Bogdan Bogdanovic and Kevin Huerter are great players, but they're not going to make the shots every time. And if they neutralize Trae Young to scoring like 20 points, then I think the Miami Heat will be fine, and I think they'll win in 5 games. And not to mention, the Atlanta Hawks' Clint Capella got injured yesterday, so I got the Miami Heat in 5. The next series is the 76ers vs the Toronto Raptors. Another very interesting series. And the Raptors are a great team, and they can pull off this upset. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. Matisse Thybulle is out for road games against the Raptors. But I still got the 76ers because Joel Embiid will be too much for the Toronto Raptors. Joel Embiid is probably going to be the MVP in the league unless it's Nikola Jokic. But Embiid, he won't be able to be stopped because a lot of these 6'9 centers, 6'10 are on the Toronto Raptors, and no one will be able to stop him. He will literally dominate the Raptors. And Tyrese Maxey and James Harden will be another scoring punch. I know James Harden's been struggling, but he'll add some playmaking. He'll throw some lobs to Joel Embiid. And on the offensive end, the Toronto Raptors aren't that good at scoring. Fred VanVleet's their best scorer, and he's averaging like 20 points per game. So Fred VanVleet won't be enough to beat the dominant Joel Embiid. So I got the Philadelphia 76ers in 6 games. The next series is the Milwaukee Bucks vs the Chicago Bulls. Now I think this is a pretty obvious series, and I think the Milwaukee Bucks will easily win this series in 5 games. They will destroy the Chicago Bulls. I think the only chance the Chicago Bulls have is DeMar DeRozan in the clutch, because he's great in the clutch and he's their best player. So I still got Milwaukee in about 5 games. And Chicago is a good team, but they are not good against great teams in the regular season. So I got the Milwaukee Bucks in 5 games. The next series is a very, very interesting series. It's the Brooklyn Nets and the Boston Celtics. I know Robert Williams is injured, but there is actually a good chance of him coming back, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. However, Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant are going to destroy the Celtics defense, as they are going to at least drop 30 a game. Maybe not Kyrie Irving, but Kevin Durant. He's going to drop a lot of points. And if Robert Williams doesn't come back in this series, I don't think the Celtics are going to win this series. But however, the Celtics have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're a great offense, and the Brooklyn Nets are 19th in defensive efficiency, and the Boston Celtics are a great defensive team. But without Robert Williams, I have to go with the Brooklyn Nets, upsetting the Boston Celtics in 7 games. The next series I'll be talking about in the West, we'll go back to the West, is Phoenix vs Utah. Donovan Mitchell vs Devin Booker is great, but I feel like Utah doesn't have enough perimeter defense to guard a guy like Devin Booker. Donovan Mitchell isn't the greatest defender. He's not a bad defender, but they just don't have enough perimeter defense. And Chris Paul's playmaking is amazing, and so is his mid-range game. They're both great. So I got the Phoenix Suns winning this series. I know DeAndre Ayton might be neutralized from Rudy Gobert, but the Phoenix Suns are going to win this series in 5 games. The next series is the Memphis Grizzlies vs the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have an inefficient team, and Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry haven't had much time together on the floor. And the Memphis Grizzlies are a great team. Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. They're a great team, but the Warriors have a pretty good defense with Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green. Klay Thompson's also a good defender, and they have a lot more experience than the Memphis Grizzlies. So I have to go with the experienced team. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. The next series I want to talk about is a very interesting one. It's the Philadelphia 76ers vs the Miami Heat. 76ers have Joel Embiid, who's a dominant big man, who is not going to be stopped in this series. Even with Bam Adebayo guarding him, they might be trying to force the ball out of out of Joel Embiid's hands, and they might be trying to pass the ball to James Harden too much. And James Harden's going to be guarded by Jimmy Butler. So it'll definitely be hard for the 76ers. But on the offensive side of the ball, the Miami Heat do not have a go-to scorer. Jimmy Butler, he cannot shoot. They're going to leave him open. So Jimmy Butler, he will not be able to shoot. Bam Adebayo, he's going to do his thing, but Joel Embiid is going to be guarding him. So it'll be very tough for him. And yes, I think Jimmy Butler can score a lot of points. But in the clutch, Jimmy Butler is 40% from the field. That's absolutely terrible for him. And yes, he can improve in the playoffs, but I just don't see that happening because he doesn't have a jump shot that's, really good. They also have Tyler Hero, who's coming off the bench, and they do have Victor Oladipo. Both great players. Victor Oladipo is also a really good defender who can guard James Harden. But here's the thing, though. Tyler Hero, he's a young player, and he is an experienced player a little bit in the playoffs, but I just can't see Tyler Hero being the best scorer of an Eastern Conference Finals team. I've got to go the Philadelphia 76ers in 6 games. A lot of these series are 6-game series. Let's go to the Milwaukee Bucks vs. the Brooklyn Nets. A very, very close series. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving obviously won't be stopped. But Milwaukee's Giannis Antetokounmpo won't be stopped. And the Brooklyn Nets don't have too much defense. I know Ben Simmons is going to be back, and he might be able to neutralize Giannis Antetokounmpo. But I still think that Giannis won't be stopped. And the Bucks are a lot better than last year. The Nets almost won against the Bucks last year, and it was decided because Kevin Durant stepped on the line, on the three-point line. But I still think the Bucks will win this one. They have all the great defenders. Jrue Holiday, he's going to guard Kyrie Irving. He's going to give him a lot of trouble. So I think the Bucks are going to win this series in 7 games. It will be an amazing series, but I got Milwaukee. So that will be a great Eastern Conference Finals between Milwaukee and Philly. Who is going to win this Eastern Conference Finals? This will be a very, very close Eastern Conference Finals. And man, oh man, it will be an amazing series to watch. Joel Embiid against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jrue Holiday against the young Tyrese Maxey. And James Harden against Chris Middleton. I think it will be a great series, but I feel like Giannis is a little bit better than Joel Embiid, and I think he can make his team win against the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden has been struggling, and it will be hard for the 76ers to win this game, so I'm going to have to go with the Milwaukee Bucks in the finals. I'm going to go Milwaukee in 7. I really do want the Philadelphia 76ers to win this series if it happened, but I'm not biased, so I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Bucks. This will be a great series. The Golden State Warriors vs. the Phoenix Suns. But honestly, the Phoenix Suns are the best team in the regular season. They're just too good. The Golden State Warriors are young and inexperienced. They don't really have a defender to go against DeAndre Ayton. They do have a lot of defenders to go against Devin Booker. They have Draymond Green. They have all those defenders to go against Devin Booker. They also have Andrew Wiggins. And Chris Paul is also on the Phoenix Suns. But I think the Phoenix Suns will win this because Devin Booker is such a great clutch player. 57% from the field in the clutch. He is that guy for the Phoenix Suns. He's a very clutch player. And in the clutch, when Devin Booker is 57% from the field, the Phoenix Suns are 33-9. That's very, very interesting. So I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns in this series in 7 games. It'll be very, very close. But I think the Golden State Warriors' big three is a little bit inconsistent. So I'm going to go with the Phoenix Suns in 7 games. This will be a very interesting finals rematch. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks are kind of like the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the Phoenix Suns are kind of like the Golden State Warriors, a little bit inexperienced. But both of the teams are similar. I think it's a good comparison to compare both of these teams. I really like the Phoenix Suns' chance in this. I know DeAndre Ayton won't be able to guard Giannis Antetokounmpo, but this time I got the Phoenix Suns and Chris Paul winning that ring. Devin Booker is great, and I already talked about how good he is. But all of the other role players like Mikal Bridges, who is a great defender, and Cameron Johnson, who's great off the bench and is a 6th Man of the Year candidate, will make the Phoenix Suns win in this series, and they'll finally win a ring. And I think they're just a lot more experienced now after the last finals, after they lost. So I think that the Phoenix Suns will win a championship. I did not expect to say this in the beginning of the season, but they were the 1 seed. I got the Phoenix Suns in 7 games.